Good day, dear chess lovers. As usual, Suren is here, and the new year, the 2021, wanna start with a game played by the 8th world chess champion Mikhail Tal. In this game, Tal's opponent is New Zealand and British chess international master Robert Wade. Wade was New Zealand champion 3 times, British champion twice, and played in 7 chess Olympiads. This game was played in 1966 in Palma de Mallorca. To be honest, I have already shared this game with you, but as I like it too much, decided to take a look at it once again. Let's enjoy it together. So in this game, Tal had white pieces and he opened up with e4, to which Wade answered with Sicilian defense. Probably you may have already noticed that Tal's most fierce attacking games can be met in Sicilian defense, and that's due to the character of this opening. Sicilian usually leads to sharp dynamic games. Choosing more solid and safer openings can of course be a better strategy when facing Tal, but on the other hand, all hail to Wade and other players who dare to play Sicilian against Tal himself. Here we have knight f3 d6, d4 c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3 g6, first Sicilian, and then one of the sharpest lines, Dragon variation, is on the board. A very aggressive approach by Wade, of course. We are now heading to variations where sacrifices are literally hanging in the air. Queen d2, black castled, kingside, bishop c4. Tal is going for Yugoslav attack with bishop c4, bishop d7, h4, rook c8, bishop b3, queen a5. Modern theory recommends h5 or knight e5. These are the most popular moves, but in the game we see queen a5, a somewhat old-fashioned move. h5. We are on move 12 and Tal is already making a sacrifice. A pawn sacrifice which allows Tal to open up the h file. Knight f6, and only in here Tal castled queenside. Knight e5. Bishop h6. Tal is just following the standard idea. First a pawn sacrifice, and then he's offering the exchange of dark squared bishops, which is allowing white to weaken black's kingside further. Yes, once this bishop is removed, finding a right defense from black's side is really a challenge. Rook takes c3. In return, black is going for an exchange sacrifice, which is again a very standard idea in Yugoslav attack. B takes c3. Of course, Tal is an aggressive player. He is looking for a crushing victory, and he's not interested in offering the exchange of queens. That's why we see b takes c3. Black erupted a weakness on the queen side and now is coming after it. King b2, b5. This is good, but Stockfish has different ideas, and instead the engine suggests different continuations. For example, queen b6 with a threat of knight c4 check. Also, bishop takes g4 is a nice alternative, at which I would like to take a quick look. And now if f takes g4, then knight takes c4 is coming. This is again a very standard sacrifice, which can be seen very often in Dragon variation, where black is luring away the f-pawn and is winning the central e-pawn. Of course, right now black's attack looks very scary, but with an accurate defense, white can repel it. King c1, queen a3, knight takes d1, rook h8 check, and white can give a perpetual check. Of course, black will never play king f6 because of this g5, and now it's white who is prevailing. And by the way, at this point, for example, winning the knight is not good, because after queen b2, it's black who is managing to gain lead in attack, as black is getting better chances. Instead, in our game, we see b5 by Wade, which is also a decent continuation. Rook h1. This is a very sharp double-edged position where both players have to be very careful. Bishop takes c4, b takes c4. There it goes. In return, black managed to open up the b file, and it was in here that Tal landed a heavy punch. Can you find his next move? Ready? This time we see rook takes h7 by the legend. A rook sacrifice, which is allowing white to completely open the semi-open h-file and proceed with the attack. The sacrifice also allowed white to switch the queen into the attack with a tempo. And now queen h7, queen h8 is the threat. e6, black is freeing the e7 square for the king, but this is a terrible mistake. Black's last chance was playing queen e5 in order to cover this essential diagonal. If queen takes h7, then king f8. If here, then here. Yes, black is managing to defend. Instead we see e6, and now let's see what's the problem with it. f4 by Tal. This is a very subtle and strong move which can be difficult to find. Hurrying and winning the knight won't give you anything. Black is managing to find a safe shelter for his king. In the game we see f4, and with this move white is not only taking under control the e5 square, but also wants to play g5 in order to get a foothold on f6 for the queen. Later you will see how useful this pawn on g5 can be. e5 by white, a desperate attempt. He's attacking white knight, but there is no way out. There comes g5. Tal is also sacrificing the knight. By the way, at this point hurrying up and playing queen takes h7 is not good, because again black can hide his king on e7. That's why we see g5. And now if you accept the knight sacrifice, then you will quickly get checkmated. Check. King e7, and already the pawn is on g5, and you can announce a check from f6. Now can you understand how useful it was to bring the pawn on g5? And then rook h8 is mating. After g5 black played bishop e8, but again this can't help him. Of course this is a cunning defense, and you should not take the bait and hurry with queen takes h7. Again, even in this case it turns out that queen h7 is not good. Already in this case, if check, then black can play king d7. So the idea of bishop e8 was to free the d7 square for the king and strengthen the pawn on f7, right? Of course Tal saw all that, and in here, instead of that foolish queen takes h7, Tal made a brilliant move, a touch of a genius. Can you find the move with which he decided the outcome of the game? Ready? This time we see knight e6, a staggering blow with which Tal is forcing his opponent to open up the 7th rank, after which checkmate become matter of moves. Right now we have a direct mating threat. Well, you can announce some checks, but this won't give you anything. And now if you accept the piece sacrifice, then this is how white can win. Queen h8 check, king e7, rook h7. Of course, even in this case there are some underwater stones which you should take into consideration. If king d8, then queen f6 is mating, and if bishop f7, then queen f6 check, and then queen takes f7, and then queen b7, black rook also drops, and so on. This king will get checkmated. That's why after this marvelous knight e6 move, resignation followed. A very nice game, right? This is just a classical example on how white can attack against dragon variation. If you are a Yugoslav attack player, ideas used in this game can be very useful. Will be also good if you can set up this game on your software and analyze on your own. You will benefit a lot. In the end, a chess puzzle for you, a simple one where the task is to find the winning line for black. As usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Feel free to check out my early uploads as well. We'll see you in my next video. Take care.